Good day everyone, we are Group 4 and for today we will be discussing about artistic and creative literacy. But before that, we will be having an icebreaker presented by Miss Jonah Tambuli.
Good day everyone, so we are the Group 4 and we are assigned to tackle artistic and creative literacy. But before that, allow us to introduce ourselves. My name is Jonaliza Otambuli and these are my co-presenters. Before we proceed to our discussion, we prepared an icebreaker called Visual Ice. So the directions the class will be shown for pictures. Students must analyze the images and guess the word, idea, or concept that the picture represents. Are you ready? For the first images we have here, what do you think these images represent? Okay, let's see if your answer is correct. The correct answer is artistic. Next, what do you think these images represent? Okay, the correct answer is creative. So, did you guess the right answer? Next, what do you think these images represent? Let's see if your answer is correct. The correct answer is literacy. Next images, what do you think these images represent? Okay, the correct answer is visual. And lastly, what do you think these images represent? And the correct answer is aesthetics. That's all for our icebreaker. Thank you for participating and let's now proceed to the next activity.
Alright, so ayan, tapos na tayo sa ating icebreaker. Now let's proceed with our learning objectives. For our learning objectives, at the end of this lessons, the student should be able to first define what is artistic and creative literacy. Second, demonstrate the importance of artistic and creative literacy through creating an artwork. And lastly, appreciate the significance of artistic and creative literacy to education. Now, before we actually proceed with the lesson proper, let's have another activity which is called Art Analyze. So, supposedly, the class will be divided into two groups, which then the group will be given 3 artworks, or I think I put 4 here to analyze, and each group must choose a representative to present their analysis and answer the following. But since we are in a asynchronous setup, I'm just hoping that you will still analyze these images that I will be showing to you guys. Okay, for the first picture, you have to answer the following question. What form of art is used in the artwork? What message do you think the artist was trying to convey through the artwork? And how did the artwork make you feel? Okay? First one. So the first one, I'll give you pause the video or take your time to answer. So this painting is Spoliarium by Juan Luna. So this painting, it depicts the dying gladiators being stripped of their armor in the basement of the Roman Colosseum. Yan. Ayan yung pinaka-point ng painting. Next, we have the Starry Night of Vincent van Gogh. So, ayun, pause again the video, tas you answer. So, Starry Night by Vincent van Gogh, ito yung view niya nung nandun siya sa parang asylum room niya sa isang province ata or lugar, and kinambine niya yun sa imaginary village. So, ayun yung pinaka-point nung painting niya na to. So, I hope ina-answer niyo yung mga fans' questions. Next, Mona Lisa by Leonardo da Vinci. Ito naman, sinisimbolize niya yung Renaissance na ideal connecting humanity with nature, blending psychological depth, innovative composition, and mystery. Ayun yung pinaka, ng Mona Lisa. And lastly, ito, nakita namin siya during our tour doon sa Intramuros. This is called the La Venganza de la Madre, which means the mother's revenge. So, it is a sculpture done by Jose Rizal. It is an artwork that depicts a mother dog that fiercely attacking a crocodile that has devoured her puppy. So, kinain yung puppy niya. Ayun yung, of course, all of these artworks ay may deeper meaning. And, ayun yung gusto namin malaman. Kung ano yung perspective nyo dun sa mga paintings na yun, kung ano yung na-analyze nyo dun sa mga paintings na pinakita ko by answering those questions. So, I hope tinry nyo pa rin silang sagutan. Ayun. Thank you. So, now, let's proceed to the lesson proper, which will be discussed by Ham.
Good day everyone, I am Vince Francis Sam from BS82-2E Group 4. So today I will discuss artistic literacy, the benefits that education can learn from the arts, and the issues in teaching creativity according to Sir Ken Robinson. So first, let us define the terms of artistic and creative. So artistic refers to anything related to art or showing creativity and skills in activities such as drawing, painting, music, dance, theater, or design. So on the other hand, creative means having the ability to produce new ideas, original work, or imaginative solution through thinking and imagination. So next, now, what is artistic literacy? So artistic literacy is the knowledge and understanding needed to participate meaningfully in the arts. It involves engaging directly in artistic creation process through the use of materials, tools, and creative spaces. So let us begin with the benefits that education can learn from the arts. So the first benefit is that form and content work together. So in arts, the way a message is presented is just as important as the message itself. For example, in music, the emotion and rhythm help listener understand the meaning of the song. So in education, this teaches teachers to make lessons more engaging and meaningful, not just focus on information. The second benefit is that everything is connected. So in arts, presentation and meaning affect each other. A performance, painting, or dance become more powerful because all parts work together. In education, this reminds us that learning is not only about memorizing facts, but also about understanding how ideas connect with experience and emotion. So the third benefit is that small details matter. So in arts, even a tiny movement, color, or facial expression can change the meaning of a work. So this teaches students to become more observant and careful. So in education, paying attention to small details can improve understanding, critical thinking, and appreciation of learning. So the fourth benefit is that discovery leads to progress. So meaning, arts encourage experimentation and trying new ideas. Sometimes an unexpected result lead to creativity and innovation. So in education, students should be allowed to explore and discover instead of only following fixed answer because discovery helps learning grow. So the fifth benefit is to take time to observe carefully. So artists spend time observing shapes, sounds, emotion, and movements before creating their work. So this teaches students patience and deeper understanding. In education, careful observation helps learners analyze situation better and become more thoughtful. So the sixth benefit is that thinking goes beyond words. So meaning, arts allow people to express ideas and emotion and even without speaking. For example, dance and painting can communicate feelings that words cannot explain. So in education, this reminds us that students have different way of expressing intelligence and understanding. So the seventh benefit is that feeling and experiences are important in learning. Arts involve emotion, imagination, and personal experiences. Students learn better when lessons connect to their feelings and real-life experiences. So this makes learning more meaningful and memorable. So the last and the eighth benefit is that open-ended activities develop imagination. So meaning in arts, there is not always one correct answer. Students are encouraged to think creatively and make unique outputs. So in education, open-ended activities help learners develop problem-solving skills, imagination, and confidence. So now, let us discuss the issues in teaching creativity according to Sir Ken Robinson. So the first issue is that the education system puts too much pressure on students. So many schools focus heavily on grades, ranking, and strict rules. Because of this pressure, students may become stressed and lose confidence to think creatively. And the second issue is that schools make students afraid of mistake. In many classrooms, mistakes are seen as failures instead of opportunities to learn. As a result of this issue, students become afraid to try new ideas because they worry about being criticized or getting low grades. So the third issue is that some subjects are valued more than other subjects. So subjects like mathematics, science, and language are often considered more important, while arts and creative subjects receive less attention. So this can make students believe that creativity is not valuable in education. So the fourth issue is that people think intelligence is only about academics. Many schools measure intelligence through exams and academic performance alone. So however, students can also be intelligent in music, arts, dance, creativity, and other talents that are not always recognized. And the fifth issue is that teaching and assessment focus mostly on academics. Most lessons, quizzes, and examination are designed to improve test scores rather than creativity and innovation. Because of this, students may focus on memorization instead of creative thinking. And the sixth and last issue is that students are trained mainly to pass exam. School often prepares students for college entrance tests, while exams are important. Focusing too much on them may limit students' creativity, imagination, and ability to develop their unique talents. And that's it, and thank you for listening.
So let's now proceed to creative literacy. So what is creative literacy? Creative literacy expands beyond traditional reading and writing. It is a holistic approach that connects literacy with artistic expressions. So when we say holistic approach, it means looking at something as a whole, not just one part. So in creative literacy, learning is not only about reading and writing. So it includes other ways of learning that connects with artistic expression such as drawing, storytelling, acting, music, and other creative activities that help students express their understanding. For example, in the lesson that focuses on stories, instead of answering questions related to the stories, students might draw a scenes or act out the characters or the scenes. So that is creative literacy. So let's now proceed to 5 key behaviors that optimize the brain for discoveries. First, associating or drawing connections between questions, problems, or ideas from unrelated fields. So this means you link your ideas from different subjects or areas to create understanding or solutions. For example, using ideas from science to help solve problems in art or daily life. So next is questioning or posing queries that challenge common wisdom. This means you stay curious at everything. You ask questions like you used why or what if about ideas or beliefs that people usually accept. So this encourages us to think more deeply and malaman yung mga iba't ibang perspective ng ibang tao. Third is observing and scrutinizing the behavior of others to identify new ways of doing things. So, ino-observe mo on how other people act or solve problems to learn different method. Then, para mag-gathered mo siya as your new ways or strategies on how to solve your own problems effectively. Next is networking or meeting people with different ideas and perspective. So, this means you reach out to different people to understand their experiences and perspective. So, by this, nakapag-gain ka ng fresh insights and nababroaden yung knowledge mo and you see things in different perspective. And lastly is experimenting or constructing interactive experiences and provoking responses to see what insight emerge. So, this means you allow yourself to explore new things and step out to your comfort zones and be more open to new learning and to discovering new things and perspectives. So let's now proceed to the 7 habits of highly creative people. First, we have prepare the ground. So prepare the ground means getting yourself ready for creativity by building your right mindset, environment, or foundation for new ideas. So, for us to be creative, dapat i-make sure natin na makapag-focus tayo. So, find a safe place and peaceful place na alam mong makakapag-activate ng creativity mo. So, in this way, ma-avoid natin yung distraction and makakapag-start tayo to build new ideas. Next is plant the seeds for creativity. So, this means you starting small ideas or simple thoughts that can later grow into a bigger and more creative concepts. So, number 3, live in the question. Like I said earlier, you stay curious at everything. Next is feed your brain. So, feed your brain means allow yourself to learn new things by reading and gaining experiences to keep your mind active. Number 5, experiment and explore. So, this means trying new ideas, methods, or activities to discover what works and learn something new. Number 6 is replenish your creative stock. So, this means refilling and restoring your creativity. So, when you feel empty, just take a rest and take a break. Lastly is liberate your creativity. So, this means freeing yourself from fear, doubt, or limitations so you can express your ideas naturally and confidently. So, next is what is eye-hand condition. So, eye-hand condition, it is the ability of your eyes and hand to work together smoothly when doing a task. So, it means your eyes see what to do and guide your hands on what to do next. So, there are problems and disorders related to poor eye-hand coordinations. So, we have here the strabismus. So, you might read the slides and I'm going to explain it. So, strabismus, it is a condition where the eyes do not work properly together because they are not properly aligned. Kaya naapektuhan yung normal na vision and focus ng taong meron nito. So, because of this is nalilito yung utak kung alin ba talaga yung dapat sundan na vision. So, yung mga taong meron nito, nagkakaroon ng double vision and poor depth perception or hirap tansyahin kung gaano kalayo o kalapit yung mga objects. We have here next amblyopia, also known as lazy eye. It is a condition where one eye does not develop normal vision during childhood. So as a result, the brain starts to rely more on the stronger eye and ignores the weaker one, which leads to reduced vision in that eye. And because of this then, humihina din yung paningin ng isang eye over time and minsan nahihirapan na din silang mag-work together. So, to differentiate the two, strabismus is may problem sa alignment ng eye, nagkakaroon sila ng double vision and poor depth perception. And next, amblyopia, may problem sa vision strength ng isang eye. Next is muscle hypotonia. Muscle hypotonia, ito yung nahihirapan yung mga muscles na magbigay ng proper support sa katawan. Kaya yung postures ng taong meron nito is pwedeng maging floppy o mahina tingnan, lalo sa infants or bata. Yung cause ng ganitong condition ay delayed development. So, next is balance problem. Balance problem is, ito yung condition kung saan nahihirapan yung isang tao na i-maintain yung stability or balance ng katawan. Madali silang mawalan ng balance or hindi steady yung galaw nila. So, because of this, naapektuhan din yung coordination and timing ng hands and eyes. Kaya minsan, nahihirapan kahit sa mga simpleng activities like paglalakad, pagtatakbo, or pagsalo ng objects, and to do more activities na required yung movements. Next is cross-laterality. So, this condition where a person's dominant hand and dominant eyes are not on the same side. For example, you are a right-handed person pero left eye dominant ka. So, ibig sabihin, hindi pareho yung leading side na ginagamit ng kamay and ng eyes mo sa pag-perform ng task. For example, ginamit mo yung right hand mo sa pagsusulat pero yung vision mo mas gumagana sa left eye. Kaya minsan, nagkakaroon ng kalituhan sa pag-coordinate, lalo na sa mga activities na kailangan na sabay sa paggamit ng mata and ng kamay. So, to conclude, problems and disorders related to poor eye-hand coordination. So, these conditions can affect creativity dahil connected kung paano nagwo-work together yung eyes, hands, muscles, and pag-balance sa pagpe-perform ng task. Since yung creativity madalas na may papakita through artistic activities. So, kapag may mga challenges na related to coordination, visions, or movements, pwedeng maging mas mahirap for some people with these conditions to perform creative tasks. Pero, hindi naman ibig sabihin na nawala na yung creativity ng isang tao dahil pwede pa rin naman silang mag-adapt or maghanap ng ibang ways para ma-express yung kanilang ideas and creativity. Tsaka, may mga tao pa rin naman na pinanganak na talented kahit na may mga limitations or challenges sa kanilang mga conditions. So, that's all for my parts. Let's now proceed to next presenters.
Now, let us proceed to the eye-hand coordination development stages. Between birth to 3 years. In this stage, unti-unting natututo ang bata kung paano gagamitin ng sabay ang eyes at hands nila. Dito rin nagsisimula na sundan nila ang moving objects gamit ang mata at matutong mag-reach, kumain mag-isa at magsuot ng damit. They can also understand simple directions tulad ng up, down, at in. Dito nila nade-develop ang control sa movements nila and dito rin nagiging prepared sila sa kanilang paglaki. Now for the next slide is 3 to 5 years. And in this stage, mas lalong nade-develop ang hand-eye coordination ng bata. Because in this stage, they also discover whether they are left-handed or right-handed. Natututo silang tumakbo, run, jump, climb, mag-balance, and also push and pull. Dito nila natututunan yon sa stage na to. Mas naiintindihan na rin nila ang directions other than up, down, and in. They also understand the directions like under at beside. Lumalakas din ang depth perception at coordination nila, kaya mas nagiging confident sila sa paggalaw at paglalaro. So the next stage is 5 to 7 years. In this age, mas gumagaling na ang fine motor skills nila, tulad ng writing, paggamit ng scissors, at paghawak ng maliit na objects. Continuous din ang nade-develop ang skills nila sa running, climbing, balancing, at jumping. Mas tumatagal na rin ang focus nila sa schoolwork at ibang activities. This is important dahil mas nagiging independent at productive ang mga bata sa school and also sa bahay. And that's all for the eye-hand coordination development stages. Now, we all know that there are 3 stages: birth to 3 years, 3 to 5 years, and 5 to 7 years. Now, let us proceed to visual literacy. What do we mean by visual literacy? Visual literacy is a skill and ability to understand and give meaning to pictures, symbols, videos, and other visual materials. This helps para mas maintindihan natin ang messages na gustong iparating ng mga images at maipaliwanag ang nakikita natin. This is considered as an important skill, especially now na maraming impormasyon na ipinapakita through visuals. So next is verbal creativity. Now what do we mean by verbal creativity? Verbal creativity is a skill or the ability of a person to think of new and interesting ideas gamit ang words. Naipapakita ito kapag creative at unique ang paraan ng pag-express ng thoughts at ideas ng isang tao. This helps para maging confident sa communication at mas maging creative sa problem solving ang isang student or ang isang tao. Now, under verbal creativity, there is what we call components of divergent thinking. The first one is fluency. I know, alam nyo na, or may idea na kayo about fluency, but how do we define fluency based on verbal creativity? Now, I will explain. Fluency is the ability of a person or a student to think of many ideas and answers quickly. In a classroom setting, we can see na ang students ay fluent kapag nakakapagbigay siya ng iba't ibang possible answers during brainstorming, recitation, or group discussions. For example, when the teacher asks kung ano ang pwedeng ways para makatulong sa community or sa environment, a student with fluency would probably provide a lot of options, ideas, or possible answers like paglilinis, pagtatapon sa tamang basurahan, pagtitipid sa paggamit ng tubig, at pagtatanim ng puno. Marami siyang pwedeng maging suggestions because he or she has fluency. Nakakatulong ang fluency para mas maging active at creative ang students or ang isang person para makapag-isip ng solutions at ideas. Second one is flexibility. Flexibility is an ability para mag-isip ng iba't ibang klase ng ideas at tumingin sa iba't ibang perspective. So, flexibility is not just limited, but you are able to adjust and adapt from the environment and tumitingin ka sa ibang perspective, not just on your own because you are flexible. If we are going to apply it in a classroom setting, na-apply ito kapag ang students ay open sa iba't ibang opinions at kayang mag-adjust ng ideas depende sa situation. Hindi yung parang sarili lang ang pinapakinggan but rather nakikinig sa opinion at suggestions ng iba. For example, in a group activity, maaring and lagi namang maraming suggestions ang bawat member, right? Para ma-solve ang isang problem. Ang student with flexibility ay kayang tanggapin at pag-isipan ang ibang ideas para makahanap ng mas magandang solusyon. Flexibility helps para mas gumanda ang teamwork at communication sa klase. Third one is originality. Ano nga ba ang originality? Of course, alam na ninyo pag sinabi nating originality, ito ay yung ikaw mismo ang nag-iisip at hindi ka nanggagaya o nangungopya sa iba. Now, let us elaborate and explain further kung ano nga ba ang originality. Originality is an ability para makapag-isip ng unique at kakaibang ideas na hindi kagaya ng naiisip ng iba. For example, in a classroom setting, kapag ang student ay may originality, makikita ito kapag ang student ay kayang gumawa ng creative projects, stories, artworks, or presentation na naiiba sa usual na ginagawa ng iba. For example, sa paggawa ng poster, ang student na may originality ay maaaring gumamit ng recycled materials or unique na concept para mas maging creative ang output. This helps or originality helps para mapakita ng students ang imagination and sariling style niya sa kanilang work. The fourth one is elaboration. Elaboration is ang kakayahan na mag-add ng details at maipaliwanag ng malinaw ang isang idea. For example, sa classroom ulit. This is important sa reporting, essay writing, at recitation dahil mas naiintindihan ng teacher at classmates ang explanation ng student. For example, imbes na simpleng sagot ang ibigay, ang student na may elaboration ay magbibigay ng further examples, explanations, and additional details para mas maging complete ang answer. 'Di ba? Mas mapapadaling maintindihan ng ibang tao when a person or student elaborates his or her answer by adding details and examples para makita kung nakaka-relate ba yung mga estudyante or yung mga kaklase niya. This helps para mas malinaw, organized, and informative ang communication ng students. Now that we have explained visual literacy and verbal creativity, naisip niyo ba kung bakit nga ba natin inaaral ito? Ano ba ang application nito in a classroom setting? For visual literacy, in a classroom setting, ginagamit ito para mas madaling maintindihan ng students ang lessons through pictures, videos, charts, diagrams, and presentations. For example, especially for visual learners, mas madaling maiintindihan if there are pictures or symbols, and mas madaling may explain ng teacher ang isang topic gamit ang visuals kaysa puro words lang. Sino bang hindi maboboard kapag puro words lang, di ba? Mas eye-catching kapag may pictures. Nakakatulong din ito sa students para mas ma-analyze at ma-interpret nila ang mga images at messages na nakikita nila sa books, social media, at iba pang materials. Because of this, mas nagiging engaging at interesting ang learning process. Right? Diba, kapag nasa room tayo, hindi naman tayo magiging interested sa isang bagay kung puro words lang, especially like what I've said earlier, kung visual learner tayo. And for verbal creativity, ang verbal creativity naman ay ma-apply sa classroom kapag hinihikayat ang students na mag-share ng ideas, gumawa ng stories, poems, speeches, role plays, and group discussions, and marami pang iba. Nakakatulong ito para mas mahasa ang communication skills and confidence ng students sa pag-express ng thoughts nila. Through verbal creativity, natututo silang maging imaginative, unique, at mas creative sa paggamit ng words at pagbuo ng ideas.
Good day everyone, I am Therese Micah M. Crisostomo and I'll be discussing about aesthetics. So, here's what aesthetic is. It is the study of beauty and closely related to the philosophy concerned with the nature of art and such. So, ayan, nakikita po natin sa PPT. So, the concept of beauty in aesthetics completely depends on the person and their taste while looking on the art or on the work of art. Ibig sabihin, in aesthetics, walang pangit or maganda. So, meron nga tayong kasabihan that goes like, so beauty is in the eyes of the beholder, which means that beauty is subjective. Okay, now let's move to the nature and scope of aesthetics. It deals not only with nature and value of arts, ayan, and beauty and ugly become insignificant. So, ano ba ibig sabihin nun? Yung beauty, it depends sa tumitingin. So, we can ask question like, do they think that something is beautiful or ugly? And by that, masasabi natin na we all have different perspectives on how we perceive things as beautiful or as ugly based only on judgment. So, beauty simply is based on judgment. Kaya yung term na beautiful, it has no sense except sa kung paano siya i-associate ng mga tao sa mga bagay. Like for example, for art, ginamit mo siya, in-associate mo siya dun sa art as beautiful, di ba? Dun mo siya magagamit. Kaya, nagiging insignificant yung beauty and ugly when it comes to aesthetics. Kasi, another thing, when it comes to aesthetics kasi, hindi raw dapat ginagamit yung terms na beauty and ugly to describe any aesthetic form of art. Let's say, for example, nagpagawa ka ng art activity sa mga students mo. Hindi mo lang pwedeng sabihin na yung ginawa nilang artwork is maganda, or it is beautiful, or sabihin mong pangit yung gawa nila. It has to be described or graded based on how, like, for example, meron kang rubrics, may criteria ka, like, hindi lang nakalagay dun sa criteria mo na beautiful, ganun. It has to have yung like, if it is expressive, balance ba siya, or nagko-connect ba siya dun sa team, ganon. So, that's the nature and scope of aesthetics. Now, let's proceed with the approaches. Okay. The first one, it is the study of aesthetics, concept, or the analysis of language criticism. So, in here, sa first approach, the example is when we are criticizing something as beautiful, it depends on the person. However, in aesthetics, kailangan may basis lagi yung criticism mo. Again, let's say na nagpagawa ka nga ng artwork dun sa mga students mo. Let's say, for example, poster making or slogan. You can't just say nga na it is beautiful. Kailangan may basis siya, like magkakaroon ka ng rubrics indicating if the slogan or the poster is meaningful, nagbe-blend ba yung colors, nagko-complement ba sila sa each other, pumasok ba sa team yung ginawa nila, and other things. So, hindi lang pwedeng, isa lang yung basis mo, maganda, okay na yun. Hindi. So, ayun siya for the first approach. Next, sa second approach. Second approach says that it is a philosophical study of certain stages. And this approach means that it is important on how we perceive aesthetics in terms of our mind, responses, attitudes, and emotions. Let's say, for example, na you are a history teacher, tapos pinakita mo yung kanina, yung painting ni Juan Luna, or yung sculpture ni Jose Rizal na yung The Mother's Revenge. So, pwede mo i-ask yung mga students mo kung ano sa tingin nila yung emotions na gustong i-portray ng mga artist dun sa painting or dun sa sculpture na ginawa nila. Because emotion is highly significant when it comes to art. And next, we have the third approach. Last approach says that it is a philosophical study of the aesthetic object that reflects the view that problems of aesthetic exist and such. So, for this one, in aesthetics, they present the problem in its natural form. Ibig sabihin, hindi nila to sinusugarcoat. And they do not take in consideration what the other people will think about the said problem. Basta, gagawa lang sila based on the problem. Hindi na nila iisipin, like, ano bang may isip ng other people dun sa problem na to. So, gagawin lang nila. Like, say, for example, may problem about politics, ganyan. Ilalagay lang nila yun dun sa art. Kunwari, sa art na yun, ilalagay lang nila yun dun. Hindi nila isipin kung eto ba is is this controversial ba or what? And that's what the third approach is. Now, let's proceed with integrating arts and creativity literacy into the curriculum. Dito, since we have to integrating means ini-incorporate natin siya. So, these are the strategies kung paano natin magagamit yung artistic and creative literacy sa ating curriculum or sa education. First one is the physical environment. It is designed a physical environment to support creativity. As it said, physical nga, so ibig sabihin, yung environment, like, sinasabi dito na we must create an environment na nagpo-foster ng creativity and artistic in a way na it can be used to make the students feel productive and motivated na gumawa ng arts and to be creative, diba? So, next, emotional environment. Take time to create and maintain a climate of respect, care, and support to someone. Anyway, ayan, making mistakes, more on yung emotional environment is more on the mistakes. So, as I said earlier, emotion is highly important when it comes to art. Kaya, when your student makes something, tapos they wanna be creative, dapat ina-encourage mo lang sila. Dapat sinusupport mo sila dun sa pagiging creative, pagiging artistic nila. And when they make mistakes, which is hindi naman din siya may iwasan, inevitable naman ang mistakes, paggawa ng mistakes, you have to tell them that mistakes will never mean that they are a failure. It just means that they can try again. Kasi nga, mistakes is our building block. Building block natin yan para mas maging better tayo in our next try. Ganon. So, ayun. Dapat hindi natin sila dinidiscourage. So, next is the teach creative thinking skills. To sa metacognition through the process of brainstorming, reasoning, comparing, and contrasting, and more. So, dapat inaalaw mo yung students mo na mag-isip. Thinking should be in the process of their creativity and artistic mind. So, paano mo gagawin yun? Kailangan, hayaan mo sila na makipag-brainstorm. Hayaan mo sila na gumawa ng reasoning nila. Hayaan mo sila na mag-compare ng artworks nila, pero not in a bad way. So, you just let them na to explore things para mas magkaroon sila ng mas malawak na perspective dun sa ginagawa nila. Next, we have the alternative assessment, which is provide different aesthetic assessment such as performance, ganyan. So, dito, alternative assessment, alam naman natin yun. So, mostly, meron tayong mga paper and pencil test. And, minsan, hindi rin naman enough na paper and pencil test lang. Minsan, kailangan natin magbigay ng performance task, yung may output silang may papakita sa atin. So, i-integrate natin yung art. Let's say, for example, magpa-poster making ka na may integration dun sa topic mo. Let's say, yung topic mo is about climate change. So, papagawa ka ng poster making that is related to climate change. So, meron kang alternative assessment. Hindi lang yung paper and pencil test. Hindi lang yung written exam. Yung basis mo. Next, scheduling. Project-based curriculum and performance-based assessment need ample time. So, sa paggawa ng art, of course, kailangan natin lagi ng time. So, kailangan meron silang enough time para magawa yung mga activity or yung arts na ipapagawa mo sa kanila. Let's say, for example, magpapagawa ka ng poster making nga. Tapos, binigyan mo lang sila ng 5 minutes para gawin yun. Anong output yung i-expect mo from your students if wala nga silang enough time for them to prepare yung activity na yun? Baka yung 5 minutes, nag-iisip pa lang pala sila kung anong gusto nilang gawin dun sa poster making. So, it is important na binibigyan natin sila ng time. Like, for example, 1 day para matapos nila yung output. Or if it's, if yung pinapagawa mo is too complicated and medyo alam mo sa sarili mo na as a teacher, kailangan talaga ng students mo ng mahabang time para may prepare to. Then, give them a reasonable time frame kung hanggang kailan nila magagawa yung activity na yun or yung artwork na yun. Next, student-centered and personalized learning. It is the freedom to choose on what they will learn and how they will demonstrate. So, tayo lang yung guides ng mga students. Yung, yun. We are called the guides on the side. Ayan, if I remember that right. We are called the guides on the side ng mga students. So, pinafacilitate lang natin kung ano ba yung gusto nilang gawin. So, in the process of nung paggawa nila, or kung ano man yung napili nilang way of their learning, and paano nila dinademonstrate kung ano yung natutunan nila, tayo, as a teacher, kailangan, pinapacilitate lang natin sila. Hindi natin sila ini-spoon feed dun sa mga kailangan nilang matutunan. Kasi, student-centered nga tayo. So, ibig sabihin, students na yung, they are the sages on the stage. Sages of the stage. Ayun, sages on the stage. They are the sages on the stage. So, sila na yung, pinaka-focus. Sa kanila naman gagaling yung aaralin. Sa kanila naman gagaling yung way kung paano nila aaralin yung topic. Next, number 8 is incorporate arts. Integrate seamlessly arts into the curriculum to develop creativity. So, ayun, let's say, for example nga, you are history teacher, tapos gusto mong integrate yung art, yun yung ways of how mo siya sasama sa subject mo, like poster making, slogan making, or magpagawa ka na roleplay ka, because role-playing is a form of art. It is a performing art. Or magpa-sing, dance, or like interpretative dance, ganyan. So, there's a lot of ways na we can incorporate arts sa ating studies or sa education. Next, integration of technologies. And encourage students to create and utilize technology in making arts. So, hindi lang naman lock yung arts sa traditional, since meron na tayong digital way of creating arts. So, they can use Canva, yung IBIS Paint, yung different tools na pwede pa nilang gamitin when making arts. Like, meron nga yung parang pen na pwede mo i-connect dun sa phone mo, so you can use it as pencil, parang ganun. So, hindi lang siya always na sketchbook, na physical, hindi lang siya ganun. So, pwede nilang integrate yan na gumawa sila ng mga digital paintings or digital artworks na makapag-create sila ng arts and mas ma-enhance nila yung creativity nila and yung artistic mind nila. So, wait. Then next, preparing the body and brain for creativity. So, create body to mind integration. So, dito, if you guys remember or if naalala nyo siya, na ginawa nyo siya before, during your high school or elementary days, na kapag nagpa-flag ceremony, nagkakaroon muna ng energizer, yung parang, ngayon sa Milo, yun, nagsasayaw muna ng mga ganon, or kapag sa class, diba, nagpapa-energizer muna yung mga teachers, like, tumayo po tayong lahat, tas sumayaw tayo, ganyan-ganyan. So, yung mga ganong ways, it prepares the body and brain for creativity. Paano? Kasi, wino-warm up niya yung mind natin na magsa-start na tayong mag-isip dun sa araw na yun. So, mas nagiging creative na tayo sa ating thinking. Although, baka sabihin nyo, ay, hindi pa rin ako creative kahit sumayaw-sayaw na ako. Hindi lang siya creative in a way na arts lang. Like, iniisip nyo kasi na creative lang na paggawa ng arts. No, it's not. Creative in a way na kaya mo mas mag-isip, mas gumagana na yung brain mo sa mga topics na pinag-aaralan nyo. Mas naiintindihan mo yung mga lessons. mas na-comprehend mo siya. So, ayun, mas nagiging malawak yung thinking mo. Kasi kapag, kunwari, matamlay ka, wala kang gana, edi, ibig sabihin, hindi gumagana yung utak mo dun sa time na yun. And, masyado preoccupied na yung mind mo. So, in order na ma-avoid yung mga ganon, kailangan meron muna tayong mga icebreaker activity, yung mapapagana muna yung utak natin para ma-prepare tayo dun sa mga lessons na itatakal natin along the way. So, ayan, that's na pala yung preparing the body. So, that's all for the aesthetics and integrating arts and creativity literacy into the curriculum. So, we'll be having our activity. So, ayan, magkakaroon ulit tayo ng activity. So, the activity will be discussed by Miss Castro, but to give a brief detail about the activity, it is called Art Beat.
Now, let us proceed to a fun and exciting activity. Are you all ready? Yes, you are. So, our activity is entitled Art Beat. I need you to listen carefully to the directions and try to understand it, of course. The activity or the class will be divided into 2 groups. Each group will have 2 minutes to plan their artworks. The activity consists of 2 rounds. 5 minutes for the first artwork and 10 minutes for the second. Both artworks must convey a message or represent an idea. A representative from each group will present the artworks and answer the following. 1. What do the artworks convey? 2. What challenges did you encounter? And 3. What did you learn from the activity? But before I proceed to the activity, I want to tell you guys that me and Miss Crisostomo also tried the activity in which we try to draw in 5 minutes and in 10 minutes. So this is our works. Miss Crisostomo's work is on the left and mine is on the right. If you are familiar with the song Lifetime Reimagined by Ben and Ben, this drawing portrays the meaning of that song. That is according to Miss Crisostomo. And as you can see in my artwork, there is a yellow background, and for me, and I don't know if we're similar, yellow symbolizes happiness or joy, but as you can see, the picture is broken and it symbolizes a broken family, but they were happy in the picture, but in real life, they are not. Next one is the 10-minute artwork. Again, Miss Crisostomo's artwork is on the left and mine is on the right. The theme of Miss Crisostomo's artwork is loving freely. This expresses that we can love freely, even though some might say that it's not right. This drawing wants to portray that loving someone is never wrong. And my artwork is based from my experience with my girlfriend. It taught me that we should cherish the moment and don't mind the people around us. As you can see, the location is at the beach and there are a lot of people, but we decided to cherish the moment and hindi na lang pansin yung mga tao sa paligid, but rather isipin na parang kami lang dalawa nandun. When we are doing the activity, we face challenges like time pressure. It is really hard for us to think of an artwork or to think of a concept in under 3 minutes or 2 minutes. It is really hard that we have limited time to draw and to make something. And from this activity, we have learned that time is important because we need enough time to think, create, and improve artworks without feeling rushed. As you can see, the colors in our artwork is quite similar, which is blue and yellow, and some other colors because we have limited resources, which shows that resources like art materials, tools, and learning materials are really helpful to express our creativity and make better ideas or make it more meaningful. It is also an opportunity because we had the chance to explore and try our capabilities and practice our artistic skills. I would like to say that integrating arts in education helps students become more creative, confident, and expressive while also improving their imagination, communication, and problem-solving skills.
Thank you so much everyone for watching our video presentation. I hope you learned from us and hopefully ginawa nyo yung mga activities kasi maganda siyang gawin kasi nga parang mas na-enhance natin yung creativity natin dito sa mga activities na piniprepare namin for all of you to try. Ayan lang naman. Thank you so much!